Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And also turn on the notification bell, that way you know when I drop these videos, or I decide to go live, or whatever. That way you're tapped in to what's happening in the Knicks-Verse at any moment. Also, the thumbs ups are very much appreciated, and please drop your comments. Want to hear how you guys feel about this game particularly. Really, we cannot get that excited about this game. Yes, we won. But the fact that it was a must-win is kind of indicative of the state of where the Knicks are right now. But we cannot discount it. The Knicks pulled out the win, and that's really the bottom line. 105-91. Man, what a relief. But I'll tell you, the story of the game was Mitchell Robinson. Mitch, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 6 of them offensive rebounds. 3 block shots. He shot 8 of 9. Now, most of them were lobs and putbacks, but that's what we need him for. You know what we saw tonight? We saw that hop. We saw a bit of the pre-injury Mitch coming back. Now, he's not quite there yet all the way. He definitely, he'll give you, I don't know, just to pick a stretch. He'll give you like 4 or 5 minutes of the pre-injury Mitch. And then when he starts getting gassed, it tapers off. And then he needs to go to the bench. Whatever the amount of minutes. He just doesn't have, he can't go for long stretches, but that's okay. Because we have Nerlens, we have Taj, but look at that plus minus. Led the team with a plus 24. That's fantastic, man. And there was an interesting interview with him at the end of the game on the court with Mike Breen, and I'm going to play it for you. And he said a few things that were interesting. Take note.
4-game road trip. Mitchell Robinson, the best performance of the season for him, 17, 14, and 3. Mitchell, thanks for joining us. We were saying on the air tonight, we think this was your best game of the season. Did you feel the same way?
I felt exactly the same way. I needed to come out with some energy today, man. I get tired of losing. Me and my teammates, we talked about it all the time, so we trying to change this thing around.
Mitchell, I'm sorry, forgive me for interrupting. What was the difference tonight for you and how you felt?
Actually, after we had our little meeting with the team and stuff like that, it just changed. Everything just changed. So it's like, now we got a different approach.
And having a point guard like Kemba Walker orchestrate the pick and roll, the offense, throw those Gotham lobs, what's it like having him back in the lineup?
Hey, man, Kemba, hey, that man's special, man. Hey, I like having him on my team, and, I appreciate him.
Mitchell, obviously the team has been up and down, they've been inconsistent. What have the players been talking about amongst yourselves in terms of trying to right this and getting back to that consistency, especially defensively, that we saw last season?
Yeah, we trying to get back to how it was, man. We trying to make the playoffs again. So we just been working every day, getting practice and stuff like that, just going hard.
Mitchell, terrific performance. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
His best game of the season, and the Knicks a much-needed win. Number of contributors, but while you had said it all game long, you just loved the way he was playing tonight.
Oh, his effort, his energy, he completely fed off the crowd. This was a big win to snap their 5-game losing streak at home. Got to start defending home court.
All right, so there you heard Mitch say that the team had a team meeting, and they cleared a lot of things out, and they decided, they were all on the same page, which is they believe that they're a playoff team. And he said, he was a little bit glib about it. He said, I think he said like something like it fixed everything. Well, let's wait and see. This was Detroit that we just played. Detroit is not a good team. Detroit is, what are they? There's 5-25. Yeah, well, the Knicks are now finally they're 14-17. The hope that the Knicks can finish at 500 by the end of this calendar year is still within reach. Next, we have Wizards on Thursday, and then on Christmas Day, we're going to play a very depleted Atlanta Hawks team. No Trae Young, no Clint Capella, and no Gallinari. So, and by then, we should have maybe both Obi and RJ back, but at least one of those two. Hopefully we'll have both of them back. But if we give an effort like we've done in the past 2 nights, even though we lost that Celtics game, but if we give an effort like we've done tonight and in the Celtics game, we have a decent chance of pulling out that game on Saturday and on Thursday, so we can go on a nice little mini 3-game winning streak, and then we'll deal with next week. what a relief it is to finally talk about a win. I know in my last post game, I got a little straight with Julius, and even though tonight he still wasn't the Julius that we need him to be, and apparently I heard at the last second, right before I started recording this, that Thibs said that Julius wasn't quite feeling himself. So maybe he's a little out of it. That could explain a little bit of what was going on. But, you know, to be honest with you, the body language, the complaining to the refs, all of that was still there. And it was there before, you know, this, quote, not feeling that well situation. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But, you know, he did give us 21 points, 11 rebounds, 18 shots, shot 8 of 18, but only hit 1 of 6 from behind the arc. But I want him to keep shooting it. I want him to keep shooting it because here's my rationale. If the fact that the reason that he's missing shots is because he's playing in crowded arenas now, and he's not dealing with the solitude of the pandemic days, which let him allow to focus better and hit those shots. Well, guess what? A shot is a shot. A stroke is a stroke. He was able to hit those shots, irregardless of whether there was one person in the arena or 18,000. He was able to hit that shot last season. So he needs to keep shooting it. Will he ever shoot it at that clip of 41% again? I don't know. But can he be better than what he's been doing? Absolutely. He has to just keep shooting. In fact, he was 0 for 5, and then he hit that three-pointer at the top of the arc, which is probably where he should launch his first three-pointer of every game. I think that should be part of the game strategy, to get Julius off that way, because we need his three-point shot. His entire offensive structure is based upon him hitting that shot, because if the defender isn't respecting that shot, they're not going to play up on him, and then he can't blow past them for the mid-range to make his mid-range game be as effective as it needs to be. So it's all connected, and it's harder for him to spray the ball when he gets double-teamed. So it's all tied to that three-point shot. Even if he's missing, he needs to keep shooting it. So that's my little 2 cents on that. But look at this. Evan Fournier, even though it took him 24 shots and 2 of them were heaves at the end of a shot clock. So just bear that in mind. So he would have been 9 of 22 or something like it. May even have been more than that. But 22 points, 4 of 11 from behind the arc. He gave us some nice energy. When the ball's in his hands, he's able to be a little more creative. He needs some more time. He needs to have the ball in his hands earlier in the shot clock. And that's why we're seeing him have an impact lately. This is his 3rd game. I wouldn't call this a good game for him, but at least he gave us points. We need points. We've been hard on RJ in the past where we're like, hey, you're the number 2 guy on the floor. We can't have you with single-digit point production. Doesn't matter what happens. So you have to give some level of production, and Fournier did that tonight. But look at Kemba Walker. 2nd game in a row. Look at that, 21 points. The guy didn't play for 10 straight games, and now he came out. He had 29 points the other night, 21 points tonight, 3 of 9 from behind the arc. His energy was outstanding. Look, 8 rebounds. He was so focused. I mean, I loved his game tonight. I really enjoyed the way he played tonight. 40 minutes, 41 minutes for Alec Burks. His shooting lines wasn't that great, but he played excellent defense, and he kept the ball moving, which was nice. That was really nice. Nerlens was the one disappointment in the starting unit. Only 2 points, 3 rebounds. I can't remember how many blocks he gave us, but luckily we had Mitch, who gave us tremendous effort, and Taj. A lot of times, Thibodeau went big with this lineup. He went very big. He was playing Randall, Taj, and Mitch at the same time. Let's go to the highlights here. All right, here we go. So and it was interesting that he played that way. I wonder if what Thibs is doing is setting up a scenario to get Julius comfortable with playing with 2 other bigs on the court. So when Obi comes back, Obi would probably take over that Taj other big position. And that's what we need to see. I would love to see that because we're kind of getting, it's not the small ball lineup, but it helps get Obi some more floor time. And those 2 need to share the court together, because if they are together and they are productive, this team can soar, because this team is a playoff team. I believe it in every bone in my body. This team is a playoff team, and it's been underperforming, and that's why it's so painful and frustrating for us as fans, because we know it is. This is really not that different a team from last season. We've talked about this before, and in fact, it's probably a more talented roster this season than it was last season. And we're getting year 2 of Obi and IQ, which, they're stepping up. Well, Obi definitely has stepped up. IQ shot, he had a great game right before he got COVID. But, hopefully, I believe that his shot is going to be there. But his defense has stepped up from last season. His playmaking has stepped up. His ball handling has stepped up. Every aspect of his game has stepped up except for the actual shooting efficiency. But the guy's a shooter. It'll be there. So, and then we have Grimes. We have Deuce. We have talent up and down this roster. There's a reason why our bench is one of the best benches in the NBA. And it's because we're deep. We are deep, and we need to play to that advantage. And in the pregame, I talked about my hope is that when everyone is healthy again, that Thibs doesn't go back to his 10-man rotation or even 9-man, that he actually expands it and takes a page out of Steve Kerr's book and expands it to 12 or 13-player rotation. Let them all play, and then you'll have your main engines like Julius and RJ will have fuel, and Rose as well, will have enough gas in the tank as we move into the deep, deep months of this season. And with a healthy Mitch, who knows? We might be able to get out of the first round into the second round. But we got to start winning games. We got to string a winning streak together. And now is the time. It's got to happen. I mean, this is there's no reason why this team can't do it. Julius, 6 turnovers. He had the same amount of turnovers as the entire rest of the team. That just has to change, man. That just can't happen. 6 turnovers is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, even 4 is kind of high. Some people say, 4, but no. I would go, 3. 3 is like, no one can be perfect every game, especially when the ball is like almost 30% of the time the ball is in your hands. Well, 6 turnovers is just brutal. And then we've also talked about the non-box score turnovers that just don't show up because it's a lot of dribbling and it's whittling the shot clock down and it's forcing a bad attempt at the end of the shot clock, which we know often it's Fournier and Burks that are stuck with making those heaves. And tonight, I would say, I didn't count them out, but just off the top of my head, I saw at least 3, if not 4 or 5 even. There could have been even more of those kind of situations. So luckily, the ball was in Kemba's hands for the majority of the night, and that's the kind of results that we were getting. Finally, the lob threat is back. Mitch is playing with a bona fide point guard again, like we was with, we finally got to play a little bit with Rose. Mitch has actually never really had that much time with Rose. But look at this. Boom, 3-point shots. We had built up a nice little lead, and then in the second half, we let the Pistons get too close. I think they got within 5 points, and then finally started creating some space, and they pulled it away to solidify the win. Man, we really needed this win. That was a big bucket right there. That was a huge bucket right there, actually. All right, let's go to the rest of these stats, man. Wait, let me see this thing here. Oh, Taj hit a 3-pointer. Taj hit a 3-pointer tonight. Let's see this play here. One more. Nice. Ooh, the 3-pointer. That hurt. All right, so here we go. So look at Taj, 4 of 6. He gave us 9 points. He also gave us 5 rebounds. The team got 52 rebounds. Nice. Only shot 11 of 33 from behind the arc, 33.3%. I wish we had shot more. We need to shoot more threes. If we put up another 4 threes, we might have hit 2 of those or 3 of those even. You never know with this team. This is a very good 3-point shooting team, and the lead could have been even wider. We ended up winning by 14, but this team is built on a certain way of a style of playing, and they have to stay to that style. The plus minus, Randall plus 13. The only minus player starter on the team was Nerlens. He was a minus 10. Kemba was a plus 9. Burks plus 13. The second highest plus minus player tonight was Evan Fournier with a plus 18. So you see, he gave us 22. It took him 24 shots to give us 22 points. But His plus minus tells the story of the impact that the points that he had made on actual winning. But no one impacted it as much as Mitch Robinson. Look at that, plus 24. The game turned. The first quarter, it was kind of like, the Knicks were kind of like staggering around. They didn't really look that great. And then Mitch came into the game, and you could see his energy that he was injecting into it. The other players started to feed off of it. It was a really nice. That's what we need from Mitch. And when we're not getting it, it's so stark. Like, it's such a dramatic difference when we're not getting it. All right, here the Pistons, they only shot 24.2% from behind the arc, and the Knicks held them overall to 36.2%. That's now, again, they were depleted as well. They're missing Grant. They were missing Olynyk. I can't remember who else they were missing, but they were missing players. But we're missing 6 players. So, there's no excuses for that. But they're just not a quality team. So that's why I'm saying we have to take this with a grain of salt. But if we had lost this game, which we've seen, we have lost games we should not have lost, it would have been catastrophic. So the Knicks finally took care of business. They snapped a 5-game home losing streak tonight. And here we go. What else do I want to point out here? They beat us on a fast break points, 17-5. That's not good. Points in the paint, again, they outdid us there. The largest lead we had was 22 points. That's really nice. The steals, again, they had a wider margin there. The assists were about the same. The rebounds were the story, 52-48, but it was the actual accuracy of shooting. The Knicks took care of business on the offensive end. Woo! Finally a win. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching this. I want to hear your feelings about this game. Drop your comments, hit the thumbs ups, and I will see you right where? The Knicks-Verse!